Professor Veltar gestured with four of his tentacles toward the holographic display, showing the galaxy's most dangerous worlds. The classification system glowed in harsh red letters. Class 12. Deathworlds. Planets so hostile that even the hardiest species avoided them. These worlds, he explained to his xenobiology class, produce creatures that defy all logic. Their inhabitants develop capabilities that seem impossible by galactic standards. In the back row, Maya Thompson sat quietly, taking notes with mechanical precision. Her plain appearance and reserved demeanor made her nearly invisible among the exotic students from across the galaxy. Blue-skinned Altarians towered beside crystalline Vorthak. Gaseous Nebulans floated in containment suits while insectoid Clixians clicked their mandibles in discussion. None paid attention to the small, human. Maya had arrived at the Galactic University 3 months ago as part of humanity's first cultural exchange program. Earth had only recently joined the galactic community, and humans were still considered a curiosity. Most aliens viewed them as primitive mammals from an unremarkable world. They had no idea Earth was classified as a Class 12 death world. The atmospheric pressure alone on these planets would crush most civilized beings. Professor Veltar continued. The gravity would snap bones. The radiation would cook cellular structures within hours. A Clixian student raised one of her forearms. Professor, surely no intelligent life could evolve under such conditions. Veltar's eye stalks swiveled toward Maya for just a moment, then back to the class. That, dear students, is where you would be wrong. The lecture continued, but Maya found her attention drifting. 3 months of this pattern, sitting quietly, observing, learning. Her human physiology was remarkable by galactic standards, but she kept that information to herself. No need to cause alarm. The war changed everything. It started with emergency broadcasts flooding the university's communication networks. The Hegemony Fleet, a militant faction that had been raiding outer colonies, launched a massive assault on the university world of Kepler-7. Their goal was simple: capture the intellectual hub of the galaxy and hold it for ransom. Evacuation orders echoed through the halls, but the attack came too quickly. Hegemony dropships landed across the campus as students and faculty scrambled for shelter. The local defense force, caught completely off guard, fell within the first hour. Maya found herself separated from the other exchange students during the chaos. Emergency barriers had sealed off sections of the academic complex, trapping her in the xenobiology building with Professor Veltar and a dozen alien students. Through the reinforced windows, they watched Hegemony soldiers march in formation. Each warrior stood 3 meters tall, their exoskeletons bristling with weapons. Their reputation for brutality was legendary across the galaxy. "We're trapped," whispered Jix, a normally boastful Altarian whose blue skin had turned pale with fear. "The defense forces are gone. No one's coming to help." Professor Veltar activated his emergency communicator, but only static responded. The Hegemony had jammed all signals. "The emergency bunker," he said finally. "Sub-level 5 has reinforced shelters. We can hide there until—" The building shuddered as explosions rocked the lower floors. Through the security feeds, they watched Hegemony forces blast through every barrier with methodical efficiency. "They're searching floor by floor," Maya observed quietly. "Systematic sweep pattern. They'll reach us in approximately 18 minutes. Several students looked at her strangely. Her tone remained completely calm despite their desperate situation. "How can you be so composed?" demanded Kresh, a massive Vorthak whose crystalline body flickered with nervous energy. "We're about to be captured or killed." Maya stood up slowly, her movements deliberate and controlled. "Because this situation requires assessment, not panic." She walked to the window and studied the enemy forces below. Her enhanced vision, evolved on a world where apex predators hunted in darkness, cataloged every detail: weapon types, armor configurations, movement patterns, probable weak points. "Stay here," she said simply. "Where are you going?" "Professor." Veltar's tentacles writhed with anxiety. "To handle this." Before anyone could protest, Maya had slipped out through the emergency exit. She moved through the building's maintenance corridors with the fluid grace of a predator. Her human ancestors had survived on a world where everything wanted to kill them. They had developed capabilities that seemed supernatural to species from gentler worlds. The first hegemony squad never knew what hit them. Maya dropped from an air vent directly into their midst. Her human reflexes, operating at speeds that seemed impossible to alien perception, allowed her to disarm the first soldier before he could react. She used his own weapon to eliminate the rest of the squad in a matter of seconds. The second squad found their comrades' bodies and began searching. More carefully, Maya had already moved to a different position, using her intimate knowledge of human stealth techniques developed by persistence hunters who could track prey across continents. She picked them off one by one. Word spread through the hegemony communication network about a ghost eliminating their forces, something that moved through the building like smoke, striking without warning and vanishing before they could respond. Their commander, a veteran of 100 campaigns, had never encountered anything like it. Reports described impossible speeds, uncanny accuracy, and tactical thinking that anticipated their every move. Maya worked through the building systematically. Her human endurance, evolved for marathon hunts across hostile terrain, kept her moving while alien soldiers tired and made mistakes. Her pattern recognition, honed by ancestors who had to read minute environmental changes to survive, let her predict enemy movements with startling accuracy. The final confrontation came in the main courtyard. The remaining hegemony forces, nearly 200 soldiers, had regrouped and were preparing to level the entire building with heavy weapons. Maya appeared at the edge of the courtyard like a specter. The battle lasted 7 minutes. When it ended, Maya stood alone among the fallen. Not a single shot had touched her. Her human agility, reaction speed, and spatial awareness had made her nearly untouchable against opponents evolved on safer worlds. She activated the enemy commander's communicator and spoke in perfect hegemony dialect. "This is the human exchange student from Building 7. Your assault force has been neutralized. I suggest you withdraw immediately, or I will be forced to extend my defensive perimeter." The silence stretched for long moments before a voice responded. "Impossible. You're just one individual. I am one human from Earth. We are what you call a Deathworlder species. This was self-defense. Leave now, and we can avoid further escalation." The hegemony fleet departed within the hour. Later, as rescue teams arrived and survivors emerged from hiding, Maya returned to the xenobiology building. Her classmates stared at her in shocked silence. Professor Veltar's eye stalks focused on her with new understanding. "You're from Earth, a Class 12 death world." Maya nodded calmly and returned to her seat. "Yes, Professor. You were explaining how impossible it would be for intelligent life to evolve under such conditions." The professor's tentacles curled in what might have been amusement. "Perhaps we should revise that assessment. From that day forward, whenever galactic citizens spoke of humanity, they did so with profound respect. The quiet species from the impossible world had proven that sometimes the most dangerous predator was the one that appeared harmless, and in xenobiology classes across the galaxy, professors would tell the story of the human student who stood alone against an army and won, not through superior technology or numbers, but through the refined lethality that only a true Deathworlder could possess.